Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 0.25% to 19,203. Ethereum is up 1% to 1312. The awardee of the Ken Stanfield CTKS Partial Masterclass Scholarship was Dreamsick. Well done, my friend. And yesterday, 7 new CTKS ambassadors were selected. Nenad, someone you know, Purpuratum, Art, Brett, J-Link, and Al. All absolutely awesome people. The CTKS Ambassador designation is the highest honor in crypto technical analysis, or CTA. CTKS ambassadors have shown their dedication and commitment to crypto technical analysis in all its facets, especially the positive excellence aspects of integrity, decency, and kindness. And if you go across to cryptotechnicalanalysis.org, just click the link Ambassadors. You can see all the ambassadors just by scrolling down the page. As promised yesterday, I've shared the link to this chart in LV24 for Masterclass students. That means if you log into the Masterclass, just go to LV24 and you can get the link for this chart. It's weekend trading. The real question is, where could markets go when the main markets open? We can see across the weekend, total crypto market cap has been doing really well. It's been increasing. This is a fantastic positive factor, but we must bear in mind weekend trading is very low volume. When we look at the longs and the shorts in the market, we can see the shorts piling in. The longs not so much. We had some negative price momentum. Obviously, the longs got squeezed for a certain amount of time, but we've seen reasonably positive action. And we must bear in mind that we're very close to the Armageddon line of 18,942. Looking at liquidations, in the past 24 hours, we've seen 23.07 million across 15,923 positions. It's incredibly light trading volume, but that's what happens on the weekends. What does it mean, actually? It just means that when there's light trading volume, bigger orders can push the market around. Bigger orders can bully the market. Oh, not fair. Bigger orders. Let's have a look at the past 24 hours of liquidations. About 68% of total liquidations were short. What about the past 12 hours? About 72% short. What about the past 4 hours? About 75% short. And the past hour, say 53% long. The shorts have been liquidated, and now it's turning into the longs turn. They always take it in turns, and we can see very low trading volume at the moment. The market has basically gone flat. You could say flat with a slight upwards direction. As crypto technical analysts, we mark up our charts with the CTKS method, and that reveals daily derived dynamic smart money buy and sell levels. We can see that we had a sell-off, but it was defended very well by this smart money buy level. And we've got one below it as well. Bitcoin is currently trading at 19,209, and the Armageddon line is 18,942. We've got a lower support at 18,662 and one at 18,573. That's the negative bias. What about the positive bias? Because we know from our three-dimensional thinking, price can go up, go neutral, or go down, and we assess each percentage probability of that occurring. And that is actually what separates retail from smart money. Smart money is always thinking in 3 dimensions. Retail is thinking in 1 dimension. We can see there's a smart money sell level at 19,423, one at 19,641 as well. It's a little early to tell which direction it could go. Of course, we've got some positive momentum. We've overcome this level of resistance through here. That's a good thing. And this big push up is just getting digested at the moment. Often zooming out is a very good thing to do, and I'll just zoom into this particular part of price action. We can see Bitcoin is still under two levels of resistance. Unless we can break through these dual resistance levels, and that would occur at around 19,300, we're still under negative momentum. And we can see on the weekly basis, Bitcoin is trying with all its might to get above these dual resistance levels, but it's not having much success, just at the current time. And this is why it's so important to do your daily three-dimensional risk management. In episode 685, I went in depth on the BORSOG code, and the BORSOG code just helps you to understand that whilst you control the trade or investment, the market controls the return. We can't force the market to give us what we want. We have to move in alignment, in synchronicity with the market. And what we see here, this BORSOG code, and I want to thank each and every person that does this analysis each and every day. You're saying to the market, I'm paying attention. Market, I'm acting like smart money. So give me the reward. And the market will say, good on you, absolutely. You're already more advanced than about 90% of investors and traders, because to think in terms of three dimensions, down, neutral, and up, is something only reserved for the top 5+%. It will take some time, but you want to think about the market in terms of your portfolio. The market's direction will directly impact what happens inside your portfolio. And if the market goes in one particular direction, what does that mean for the composition of your portfolio? And how in sync with the market are you? It could be that you have the Midas touch. Everything is just turning to gold. Or it could feel like the opposite sometimes. The markets always desynchronize you. There's nothing wrong with a low synchronization factor. It can actually just give you advance warning that something is about to happen in the market that could take most people by surprise. Turning to yesterday's video, please note I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram. There were so many fantastic comments in yesterday's video. We'll look into those in a little while. In the past couple of days, we saw some really good price action. I've been scaling out of my positions recently. It's actually really important to lock in your profit wherever you can. If price manages to get above these dual resistance lines, we could see those lines turn into support, and that would be sensational. But if we start to sell down, which is actually what I believe will occur, potentially down to around, say for example, 18.5 in the next couple of days, locking in your profits would be kind of a good thing to do. But it's of course completely up to you. Everybody has different strategies. You shouldn't be swayed by anything that I say in terms of what I'm doing. Just do what is best for you. The critical thing is to always do what is right for you. We could have a big push up. If that's the case, I will scale back in. And if we have a big push down, I'll be buying. Because what we love to do is to get on the right side of the percentage. For example, we've been on the wrong side of the trade here, but on the right side of the percentage here, and we can make very decent money from that. We know from Rule 45 that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We've seen total crypto market cap come up by 0.25% as Bitcoin has come up by a little less than that, 0.2%. The greatest gainers in the past 24 hours, Aptos, HT, ETHW, Ethereum Classic, lots of ETHs, Neo and Nexo. The greatest losers in the top 100, XCN, Casper, Quant, USTC, Axie Infinity and Lunacy. The greatest gainers over the past 7 days, HT, Aave, TWT, Trust Wallet, Casper, TON and LDO. And the greatest losers over the past 7 days, Axie Infinity, Ethereum Name Service, USTC, Lunacy, ETHW and XCN. Let's have a look through the top crypto projects. And when you look at this blue line behind, that's Bitcoin's gravitational pull. You can see it's been coming up. And what's been happening with Ethereum? Ethereum has come up really well. Well done, ETH. And what about BNB? It's weaker than Bitcoin's gravity at the current time. ADA is starting to get stronger. Go Charles. And XRP just pretty much in alignment, just a little bit less than Bitcoin's gravity, which is actually quite surprising. We would have thought, with all the news that was coming through on XRP, we would have got a retail spike in there. We haven't seen that yet. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, we just haven't seen it yet. And when we look at Solana is very much weaker than Bitcoin's gravity. Doge is basically in synchronization at the current time. Poor old Dot. Gavin, what are you doing? There were a lot of things floating around on Twitter that Gavin has resigned from Polkadot. He didn't resign from Polkadot at all. I covered this in yesterday's video, but just be aware of what people say on Twitter and different things. They often can mislead because it's very sensational and they get eyeballs for that. We don't do this kind of stuff in this channel, in this community. And we can see DOT is very much weaker than Bitcoin's gravity at the current time. And Matic is much, much stronger. Go Matic. A similar thing happened with Microsoft. Bill Gates stood down as the CEO, the president of the company, and he took up a chairman position. Just bear this in mind. Bill Gates didn't leave Microsoft, but the news of Bill Gates just stepping down as CEO sent shockwaves. Just bear this in mind. It's important to understand and get the real facts. Let's extend out a little bit and let's have a look at Tron. Tron just aligning with Bitcoin's gravity. SHIB a little bit weaker. Uni coming back into alignment after taking off. Oh, Uni. And what do we see with AVAX? Still a bit weaker, but certainly a very, very good recovery. Litecoin is just floating up now. There's got a lot of strength in Litecoin. Link still under Bitcoin's gravity. Atom under Bitcoin's gravity. And Quant has just been doing so incredibly well. It's coming back into alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, just pulling down as Bitcoin pulls down. What you will find is that no alt escapes the gravitational direction and bias of Bitcoin. It just overextends and underextends specific negative or positive price momentum. We know Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. And when we look at the 9 sell-offs and recoveries in the S&P 500 since 1966, the current price action is this white line. This is prices at a very important junction at the moment. If we see price get above this level of resistance that we saw back in June, and there's quite a bit of resistance there, and it's playing in through multiple parts, we could see, if that happens, a retest of a resistance line just around here. So that would be great if we see that. But what happens if it just goes flat, goes horizontal and tries to consolidate? Well, that's actually good because the sellers are not pushing the price down, and it just depends on which one gets exhausted first. But what happens if we actually start to make our way down here? That would not be the best. That's why you do your BORSOG code each and every day. It puts you ahead of 95% of other people inside the market. What specifically are we looking for? If we go back to the 13th of October, where we had this really great push in price, we saw next day we saw a sell-off in price, but this just formed a higher low. And things went until the trend was broken around here. Now we've got more support, and we can see our SL levels for the Nasdaq at 10,569 have played in very, very well. We broke this one, but think about where we're actually coming into resistance. There's so many levels of multiple resistance between 10,974 and 11,038. And the Nasdaq is currently 10,859. Just bear this in mind. If the uptrend is to maintain itself, we want to see a series of higher lows being formed, a support level coming through this way. The financial sector is very important to look at, and if we come back and have a look at that big uptick that drove the markets higher, we can see that we had a series of higher lows being formed until we lost our support level at around the 19th of October. It's come down. Where did it come back to? It came down to all of this support, all of these Stanfield levels between 31.05 and 31.45. And what's happened now? We're seeking to challenge a resistance level at 32.19, which is literally the current price, and 32.34. Above that is 32.90. It would be quite on the cards for price to just move in a wave like it always does, come back, retest this area. But so long as we stop just making higher lows, that we don't want to make a lower low. That's really what it comes down to. We want to see price getting supported all the way up here. And especially for the Masterclass students, I want you to pay attention to the 10-year break-even inflation rate and the 5-year. The Nasdaq came up and these inflation rates also came up. That would signal to the Fed that they've actually got to raise rates more than expected. Why is that? Because this actual push in the Nasdaq is not too much, but look what it did to inflation. And this is a thing that I've been just saying to the community for some time. When the markets rally, they will push inflation up, which pushes the central banks to raise rates. We've got to be aware of this. And we actually noted that the federal balance sheet has started to come down. It's now 8.744 trillion. It was 8.759 trillion. So the Fed is certainly pulling money out of the system. Another problem the Fed has is when they see the forward projection of the Fed's federal funds rate come down like this, it's actually driving inflation as well as the indices up. It's some big problem. They've got themselves caught in a catch-22 scenario. And of course, one thing that's very, very important, those yields came down because the dollar couldn't get through this smart money resistance level at 113.853. And you can see how it's just sliced through so many, come back and retested and resume down. Please keep your eye on the DXY going forward. The DXY and yields are going to be critical for you to track. And we can see there's a 95% probability of a 75 basis point increase in the next FOMC meeting. That's in about 11 days. Apologies yesterday, I got a little bit passionate about the entitlement zone. I just want people to get out of zone 1 and zone 2 as quickly as possible. They're life-destroying, financial destruction zones. And the question went out to our beloved global family. Let's have a chat about entitlement. Divine Art said entitlement is the false ego. When we pretend to know it all, because deep down we feel we're not good enough, so our defense is to pretend the false illusion we are better than others, because we really wish we were, and that is envy. Thank you, Divine Art. And Jade said, Zone 1 entitlement. I remember my first job. And Jade had the entitlement thinking, I finished school, I have a degree, now I'll just be successful, and I know what I'm doing. Wrong. It takes many years to become an expert and to be good at what you do. Thank you for sharing, Jade. So Jade said, going slow to go fast is the key. Each day I come here to watch the daily videos and my knowledge has grown significantly since I started watching. Thanks, Jade. I appreciate you too, my friend. And there's something really weird happening with YouTube. People's comments are getting deleted. It happens all the time. I'm not sure what it's all about. And thank you, Brett, for your kind comment. Brett said, get up and put the effort in. That's what it's all about. And Brett also said, entitlement is like wearing blinders. People are so focused on looking ahead that they don't notice what is happening beside them or behind them. They don't notice the people that they've bumped into or knocked down, the mistakes they've made, the people they have hurt. Crypto moves so fast that if we look anywhere other than the charts, the trend, the macro and the geopoliticals, then we're going to miss our timing and some great opportunities. Well done, Brett. And many of our beloved family, our global family, are going through health crises or assisting those who are going through. And I just want to let everybody know that our love and healing thoughts are with you and your loved ones. And Art has missed the last few days because he dropped everything to help his dad through a brief health crisis. And I know of many others inside our global family that are going through serious life pullbacks. We're thinking about you all and sending lots of love and healing thoughts. And Edwin was very passionate about entitlement. Don't you know who I am? Edwin says, I heard this all the time working in the service industry. Those poor people, they don't know who they are. Ouch, they're in trouble. Okay, back to Edwin. Entitlement imposes unrealistic demands at the expense of others. Entitled people have a false belief that they are special and unique, and potentially the center of the universe. It's always fair if it's all about me, 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 me. Thus, this effect will ripple into a fragile mindset. All hell breaks loose if things don't go that person's way. Arrogant. Those people are above everybody else because they're so special. Egotistical, self-fulfilling prophecy, hostility, unfriendly and aggressive manner that leads into conflicts. Entitlement behavior will consistently grow if we don't understand and apply respect, empathy, gratitude, benevolence, and compassion. Beautiful, Edwin. Treating others as we would like to be treated is a very good start. Seeking abundance in life and manifesting its teachings and the sense of entitlement will eventually cease to exist. As for the market, entitlement behavior is the license to lose money. I can't agree more. Be patient with the market and don't demand the market should live up to your expectations. The market doesn't know you and the market makers don't care who you are. This is the reality in trading and investing. Just brilliant, Edwin. And Edwin is always brilliant. I found two words in Edwin's quote which are so good: unrealistic demands. That is what entitlement is. It's unrealistic and it's a demand. So the way to get out of zone 1, that entitlement zone, is to not be unrealistic, to be realistic. In zone 3 and zone 4, we're 100% realistic as people. And you know, we say it every day. We can't demand that the market give us what we want. We're not children and the market is not a parent. It's not there to satisfy our requirements. If you were lucky enough to get parents like that, and some people aren't lucky enough to have parents who give them things. You could almost view the movement between zone 1 and zone 2 and zone 3 and zone 4 as a step in the maturity process. Getting around zone 1 and zone 2 requires that we grow up, and it's really hard to grow up, especially when money is on the line and when we're losing money. Who wants to lose money? Nobody does. But unfortunately, it's the way of the market. You've got to turn those losses into lessons. Make them lessons. I'm continually, unfortunately, running out of time. I used to be able to comment on everybody's comment, but I'm just having so little time these days to do that. But know when I give you a like and I give you a heart, I just think you're the best people in the world. And Badger said, entitlement does not have any gratitude. What a brilliantly succinct way of putting it. If we have gratitude, if we can find the good in a bad situation, we've already moved into zone 3 and zone 4. Well done, Badger. And thank you also to Tiana. Tiana said, future champions have the same amount of energy and persistence every day from the first day of training. Future champions don't look for motivation every day, ideal conditions, or entitlement to be the best. Instead, they seek to improve their skills and work hard every day. They never complain for training on a weekend or a public holiday. And the result was always success. It's funny, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And thank you, Tiana, and Kate sends her love as well. And Crypto Turtle said, I'm not entitled for anything if I don't work for it. To be a professional trader means keeping up the skills and collecting trade experience, and also active learning, which helps by following the videos each day. Thank you to everybody who made comments. It's just beautiful. And J-Link, our new CTKS ambassador. Zone 1 is rough. I was always on the edge of my seat, not knowing why this went up and that went down. Always looking for an easy answer and seeking a biased point of view. I was clueless. Getting away from Zone 1 is a very important first step because I found out that it's not about knowing or predicting what is going to happen, but how to react when certain things play out and how to get prepared to react. Just insightful, brilliant, J-Link. And Art, congratulations on your ambassadorship as well. Art said, entitlement, it's a mental state where people think that just because you're participating in something, you are worthy of all the benefits awarded to the best of the participants, whether or not you excelled at the best levels or not. Absolutely brilliant, Art. And the highest levels are achieved by those who practice, rehearse, excel, and repeat over and over again. The highest levels are not achieved by those who just show up and expect the glory and the results without putting in the hard work, and often the hard work is much more than people anticipate. The markets will expose entitlement thinking and literally take the money from those who think this way. And Art knows what he's talking about. He's been in financial markets for many, many decades, like myself. After a few of these defeats, hopefully entitlement thinking loses ground to win or learn thinking, and we can begin to get grounded in our game and be a true participant in our chosen field of endeavor through gain knowledge, skill, expertise, practice, and experience. Thank you, Art. And CJ said it really well. Entitlement is a belief in a lie. And CJ said, it's not about the end result, it's all about the journey. Absolutely excellent, CJ. The entitlement mindset causes people to miss out on life itself because it's a very shallow mindset. And CJ said, I just finished a book and it had this quote from George Orwell. George said that to see what's in front of one's nose requires a constant struggle. And what CJ said is incredibly correct. These 4 zones, KS zone analysis, these 4 stages, all investors and traders progress through them to become consistently profitable and attain real wealth and positive excellence. Zone 1 and Zone 2 trap 90% of investors and traders, and they do so because the mindset is just plain wrong. And why is it wrong? It's not their fault. It's the media. So many people say you can have an absolute 1000% return, 0% loss, all of this absolute rubbish. It doesn't work that way in financial markets. Your losses are your lessons. And of course, because people are sold on the concept of easy money, take $1, turn it into $1 million. When it doesn't happen, when they lose their money, they get into Zone 2, which is all about blame and conflict. And that's a horrible zone to live in. There's no peace in that zone. And the stress and the conflict actually causes disease inside the body. Getting out of Zone 1, which is the unrealistic zone, and Zone 2, which is the full of stress zone, are so critically important to both your mental state and your health. There's so many brilliant comments. I thought what we could do actually now is, because we've done Zone 1, let's go into Zone 2, the blame zone, and just look at that for a little while and talk about how people get into that zone and, more importantly, how to get out of it. I've said many times that blame is the most destructive force on this planet, and it really, really is. Getting out of Zone 2, your bank account will thank you for it. Your relationships will thank you for it, and your health will thank you for it as well. There are just so many brilliant comments. Please have a look through them. That we just have the most incredible global family. If you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do here each and every day, 7 days a week, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. Each and every day we go through the CTKS creed. These positive affirmation statements you can just say to yourself, and they'll help you get out of zone 1 and zone 2 into zone 3 and zone 4 and help keep you there. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity and gratitude. I know opportunities and life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. And if you're going through a life pullback, please know that our love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone, and the sun will come out again. And if you're caring for people going through a life pullback at the moment, you're awesome. The true test of any friendship, relationship, is what actually happens when things don't go well, not when they do go well. Fair weather friends are not friends at all. People who are there for you when the going gets tough, they're very, very important to keep around. Okay, back to the creed. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. Knowing and understanding how the creed actually works will take people out of zone 1 and zone 2 and help them to stay in zone 3 and zone 4. It's a very, very powerful methodology. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.